everyone! My name is Kayno and I am a horned mutt. I don't know what kind of dog I am, I just know that I, for one, am a dog. And welcome to my very first Q&A. Now, I realize that a lot of you guys don't really know much about me other than the fact that maybe I draw. Some of you might know that, I'm pretty sure most of you do not. And I've made probably 1, 2, or 3 videos with Kayno in it, but they were really short. And I was hoping to kind of like, put myself out there a little bit more and, actually talk to you guys, because I love talking. I'm super outgoing, I'm super energetic and extroverted, but I don't seem to often reach out to you guys in a way where I can talk to a lot of you at the same time. So I decided a few weeks ago to do a Q&A video, and maybe you guys could find out more about me that way. And I asked for a few questions, and I actually got about 14 of them, which is a pretty good amount. I will try my best to do at least most of them. So if your question does not pop up here, I'm sorry. Like, I did have quite a few of them, but I'll get through as many as I can, or I might just do all of them. It really honestly depends on time. So without further ado, let's get started. The very first question I have received is, do you like sunny days or rainy days? Now, I really want to say that I like both because I love the bright sunshine, I like the birds singing, I like, being outside and being happy, but I really need to go with rainy days here. For one, I live in California, so the drought is a huge thing over here right now. But not just that, I love stormy weather, I love dark clouds, I love the rain, I love, like, drinking hot chocolate by the fire and stuff like that. So, like, I really need to go with rainy days on this one, even though I really do love sunny days as well. Plus, I am not a fan of the heat at all. It gets really hot here in California sometimes, so I definitely prefer perfect weather or, like rainy days. What other fursuit maker styles would you like to see Kayno made in? Do not even get me started. I have so many styles that I would love to see Kayno made in. There's Made for You, More for Less, Dexter's Zombie, Ice Squeaky Pinky, geez, who else? Phoenix Wolf Autumn Fallings, the people that I've been following for a super long time. There is a bunch of people. Wildlife is another example. So, like, I would love to have seen Kayno made in a different maker style, but, I'm actually really happy with how she turned out. So I don't really feel like, there is a need to maybe get an upgrade or something like that, and in the near future, at least, like, I need not a full upgrade at the least. So I'm really happy with the way she looks now, but yeah, definitely makers like that would have been really cool. How long can you comfortably wear the suit? I think the longest I've comfortably worn my suit without taking her off was maybe about 4.5 hours. Maybe more than that. I wasn't really gauging it or gauging or I don't even know how to pronounce it, but whatever. When I was at FC, I did wear her quite a bit. I was at Further Confusion earlier this year, and I am going again next year, by the way. I'm going back in January, so I'm super excited about that. But yeah, it was probably about 4.5 hours, I think, that I wore her comfortably in suit. What drew you to commission LazyLupe to make Kayno? Honestly, just the style. Like, I saw some of her heads and thought that, like, the style was super cute, and my only requirements were make her toony, make her extremely adorable, and make her look like she's gonna give you diabetes from staring at her, and make sure she looks excited. And I think LazyLupe nailed that on the head. Like, it just came out so good. I really love the way she turned out. So I think she did a good job at that, and that's pretty much why I commissioned her, is because I felt like she'd be able to pull that off. Any other characters you own that you'd love to be made into a fursuit or dream fursuit makers? Well, I already answered the dream fursuit makers question, so I'm gonna skip that part. But I would love to have my second Sona, Sarifi, who is a strawberry leopard, be made by another maker. She's pretty much my second Sona, kind of like an alternate ego thing. And I would love her to be made by somebody. If not her, I would love for somebody to make my Dutch Angel Dragon Trippy. You guys don't often see much of Trippy, if at all. I've only ever drawn Trippy maybe like twice or 3 times. But then again, I don't often draw my characters to begin with because I'm so busy working on other people's characters or, busy improving. But Trippy is very dear to me either way. Super adorable. I freaking love Trippy, and I would love Trippy to be made by someone else. But first things first, it would definitely be Sarifi. If Wildlife took commissions, I don't know if they do, but if they did, definitely I would go to them for Sarifi. If not them, I would probably try to to like Autumn Fallings or Phoenix Wolf. Fursuit crushes. Okay, so this one's, I know like a lot of people, like this is more like of a personal question, like, you know, suits that you find like to be very well made or like in, you know, one way attractive or the other, something like that. I would have to go with, and I'm so sorry if I mispronounce your name, okay, but Lefer Sicarius, that suit is perfect, perfect. And Sunny Dingo, definitely. Cosmic Wolfie, or Cosmic Wolf, I'm sorry. I think Esex is another one. That one was made by More for Less, if I remember correctly. And Ravertooth, oh my god, I can't get enough of Ravertooth. I think Ravertooth is really attractive as well. What's your idea of a romantic evening? Playing video games and spending time with one another, like long conversations, like dinner, going out to the park, you know, like just stuff where you do stuff together. It doesn't have to be something really fancy, like honestly just like having a conversation or playing video games like together, I think is something that I consider to be very romantic. For me, a lot of romance revolves around being friends with the person that you're in love with. So I think that would satisfy my idea of a romantic time. Aside from practice, what's good art advice can you give to an inspiring furry art? I butchered that. Aside from practice, what good art advice can you give to an aspiring furry artist? That's a really good question, because I know that question is often met by, you know, practice, which is true. I'm not saying that is not true. That is very true. You should try to draw as much as you can. But I think my tips would be to learn anatomy. And I mean, like, look up anatomy books, look how muscles work, look at how bone structure works, look at how things on the body move, and look at like their limits on movement, their limitations. And I think that's super important. I think a lot of people try to skip that, actually. They really just want to get to becoming good, but if you can't understand how a body works, it's going to be really hard for you, or it might just take a really long time for you to be able to figure out, you know, how to draw something anatomically correctly. And, you know, some people don't have to do that, and their art turns out really good, and, you know, that's great. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I highly recommend you do that. Don't let yourself get frustrated over finding a style. Don't do it. Just don't worry about a style. That was probably the worst thing for me when I was growing up, trying to figure out what my art style was. And I felt like it really limited me to, like, what I could do. So, personally, don't worry about it. Just draw. That's all I can say. Just do it. Don't think too hard about how you're drawing eyes. Don't think too hard about how you're drawing fur or muzzles, or like the kind of line work you use, the kind of shading you use or don't use. Like, don't worry about it. Just if it feels good to you, if it feels right to you, do it. How did it feel when you first tried on your fursuit? Oh, okay. So how did it feel? When I first got all her parts together, they were all in my room, and I put all of her on, I was like, it happened. It's here. It's not a dream anymore. It's not something like, because I spent like 4 months like saving up money to get her, and it was all just by art. Everything I was doing was just drawing. Everything that I was doing to make money to receive her was just art. And like, when I finally had it all together and I put all of her on, it was like, I just remember telling myself, this was so worth it. Everything, all the blood, sweat, and tears, like, everything was so worth it. And just putting her on, just like, I think the child in me was like incredibly happy, because this is something I had wanted for such a long time. And then to not only have it, but to prove to myself that I could have anything and I can do anything just as long as I worked hard at it. Like, this was the end result, and I just could not be happier with that, honestly. I feel like it, like, you know, just don't give up. You know, if you plan, like, it doesn't have to be a fursuit. It's for anything, really. If you ever have hopes and dreams, or if you ever want something really badly and you feel like you can't have it, just do not give up. Like, I felt that way. I felt like fursuits were too expensive. I felt like I was never going to be able to own one of my own that I was really happy with, and you know, and I here I am, and I'm very happy with her. So do not give up on that. Like, please. Like, I was so happy when I got her. And if you could change one thing about the furry fandom, and this is gonna be the last question, actually. If you could change one thing about the furry fandom, what would it be, and why? See, this one is kind of, it's personal, very personal question. It's gonna have a very personal answer. And you know, there's no right way to answer this question. I don't think there ever is going to be a right way to answer this question. But I feel if I could change something about the fandom is I really, really wish personally, and I'm not pointing fingers or anything, I'm just saying in general as a whole, I wish people wouldn't take it so seriously. For being a furry, like people really want to like, you know, they get super defensive when somebody doesn't understand, and like of course people aren't gonna understand. There's a lot of people that don't understand a lot of things, and often when something's not understood, it's met with fear, it's met with confusion. You can't blame people, you know, for asking questions that you're too afraid to answer, you get too defensive to answer. And personally, I really wish in this community that people would not take such things so seriously, because I mean, it doesn't have to be your whole world. You know, it doesn't have to be the reason like you get upset over something, and it doesn't have to be the reason that you feel like confused or worried or scared about like coming out. Like there's no need for any of that. It's just a hobby, you know, it's just something that you do for fun, and like it's not so big of a deal that it's supposed to make you worry about things. And that's something that it breaks my heart to hear people say that they're worried about being a furry, they're worried about what people are going to think. It's like, if people are only getting their information from negativity, then that is their problem. It's not your problem. You can't let that kind of stuff get to you. If you want to prove to people, or if you want people to feel like the furry fandom is a good thing, you need to show them. And you don't need to push it on them. You don't need to be angry or negative or yelling. You just need to show them what it really is to be a part of the community. You need to show them that it's really a lot more simple than what they think. I think that is my answer to that question. And that being said, we're all done here. So I really hope you enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun answering these questions, and I really hope that you enjoyed it as well. I might make another video eventually sometime in the future, but I am kind of busy. But I at least wanted to put this out there so that I can reach out to you guys farther, so that I can talk to you guys a little more. And well, I just really hope you enjoy. So until next time, bye!